Hey everyone, it's JimClassic again, and today I want to do another Transformers toy review. And today it will be Transformers Titans Returns Sentinel Prime. Alright, so for those of you who might not know what Titans Return is, which I don't know why because it's pretty much all over the internet. If you're a Transformers fan, you know what they are, but Titans Return is kind of like the return of the old Headmasters toys from the 80s. Okay, so what the Headmasters are is that the head of the robot transforms into a smaller robot, and he kind of acts as like their partner when they're in vehicle mode. I guess the whole concept is to help them drive or to kind of do like some side calculations for them and just to help them out in general. Usually in Titans, or I'm sorry, in Headmasters, the Autobots and Decepticons were teamed up with an alien race called the Nebulons. For Titans Return, well, Hasbro really hasn't gone into any specifics whether they're Nebulons or just smaller Transformers. But either way, Sentinel Prime. Sentinel Prime is Optimus Prime's predecessor, and he is alive once again in what I believe is his fourth toy version. So that kind of makes Sentinel Prime a bit of a rarity. This version of Sentinel Prime is now a Headmaster, Titan Master. And, well, that's a technology which is long after his time. Usually Sentinel Prime doesn't live very long in the Transformers fandom. Usually he dies and then it's Optimus Prime's turn to become Autobot leader. But yes, he is a Titan Master now. I don't think Hasbro put a lot of thought into the story of Titans Masters. I think they're just interested in reviving the character for a little while once again, which I'm okay with. Not only is Sentinel Prime a Titan Master, but he is also a triple changer now, which I believe might be also technology after his time. But all the Voyager class toys for Titans Returns are going to be triple changers. So that's kind of cool. Let's start with Infinitus, okay? He is the actual Titan Master for Sentinel Prime. Okay? Now, Infinitus here, to the best of my understanding, is originally from the IDW comic book universe, where he was an Autobot senator for the former corrupt Autobot government. Yes, the Autobots are a bit corrupt in the introductory series of the IDW comics. Apparently, the government there is very corrupt, and I think Infinitus is one of the senators. I believe he worked closely with Sentinel Prime back in the day of Cybertron. Not as his headmaster, just as a separate entity. So this is probably going to be his only real toy version right here. Okay, so this is Infinitus. Infinitus is okay. You know, he's tiny. He has a moving head, and he has moving arms as well. They're not the greatest of range, but you know, for a toy this size, not bad. He does have, and he can like be in a sitting position, but the legs are just one solid piece of plastic. He does have a lot of, not a lot, but does have a little bit of sculpted detail, which is pretty impressive, again, for something of this size. And I don't know if my camera will pick up on this, but his tiny, tiny, tiny head sculpt almost reminds me of Optimal Optimus, which is kind of cool. Maybe even Sentinel Maximus. Just to make things easier, I'll have a close-up picture of everyone. But yeah, I would say his head sculpt does remind me of Optimal Optimus in a certain regard, which is pretty nifty. On to Sentinel. So Sentinel Prime changes around a lot in each series. In fact, in my opinion, he's probably one of the few Transformers who doesn't maintain a certain look to him between the toy lines. In Transformers Animated, which was his first toy appearance, he was a blue snowplow. Okay? In Dark of the Moon, he was a red fire engine. And in the IDW universe, and I think maybe even in the old Dreamwave comics too, he was an orange Cybertronian truck. So his look is never recycled. And, well, that's pretty unusual if you think about it. Optimus Prime, his look is recycled often, just with different variations. Bumblebee is recycled a lot. His color, his look, the little horns, you know. A lot of these Transformers, their look is recycled. It might be a different vehicle mode, it might be a different body sculpt, but they are recycled a lot. And Sentinel Prime is not recycled. Well, Titan Master Sentinel Prime continues that proud tradition of not having a tradition. For Sentinel Prime, we will start, I don't know who we is, I will start with his shuttlecraft mode. Okay? The ship has a lot of sculpted detail, and Infinitus sits in the back of the shuttle where the cockpit or the command tower is. If you look at the smaller details of the ship, you can see windows, you can see what looks like what might be a bridge. Compared to the windows and everything, either Infinitus is effing huge, or there's it just these extra added details are extraneous. It's really hard telling. I suppose in the world of imagination, Sentinel Prime could be both the leader of the Autobots and a capital class starship as well. But he does look like a pretty hefty starship. If you were to take away the robot mode and, let's say, compare him to like the Enterprise here, he could be a pretty hefty star cruiser at the same time. Or if you really wanted to, he could just hang out with Blur here, and just be a small Cybertronian hover ship, So it's imagination. It can be anything, really. Like, I have to admit, this is actually kind of cool right here, seeing the Enterprise, fly side by side with this effing huge, Sentinel Prime. But yeah. So yes, all right. As a Cybertronian spaceship goes, I would say Sentinel Prime is kind of cool. He does have landing skids right here, so he can actually land as a spaceship. So, there's a little landing skid. There is exposed robot here, but, not much you can do about it. Also, his two guns. His two guns form... They could go in a couple of different spots, but they can go on either side of the ship here, you see? And even... like many Titans Returns characters or guns, the one gun here can actually fit a Titan Master in it. So he can, so we can have Infinitus here in the cockpit, and we can have, you gotta be kidding me, it's not gonna fit now. We can have Infinitus here in the cockpit, and we can have a little Titan Master right here, kind of like just a side gun or whatever, which I guess would maintain the whole concept that he is not a huge starship. I don't know. But wait! I did say Sentinel Prime was a triple changer as well as a headmaster. So his second mode is do 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 do. Yeah. A train. A train? This is a train? I'm sorry. This is like the dumbest vehicle mode ever. I really don't like this. I mean, who designed this thing? I want their head for this. This train mode is some kind of a crazy battle train with, like, arm with basically wings folded down. I mean, it's got gun turrets. It's got a command tower, the same one. Infinitus is sitting right there. Is this supposed to be the size of a full size train, or is it two trains? I mean, it's obviously double ended. You see a locomotive on both ends of this thing with guns on both sides of it. I really don't know. I really don't like this. I mean, I find this a very dull design to it, and like, how would this thing even like bend on a track? Like, this thing would have to be on a straight rail the entire time, because there is no way this thing could bend on a track. It would just go off the rails, and everyone would die. And this is a very off-putting vehicle mode. It looks unwieldy, and I think it is pretty stupid. That being said, let's see if I can find some positives. Alright, well, it is nicely detailed. The locomotive part does have some really cool detail. I mean, it looks like a train, Cybertronian or otherwise. I mean, it has very tiny, tiny doors, so maybe for humans to sit in, but this is not an Earth train either. This is a very alien-like train. It's got some nice details with the wheels and the sculpted detail. The guns do look nice. I forgot to mention the guns in the shuttle mode, but you can see them in the shuttle mode too. They're cool little gun turrets. The detail is nice. Just the length, how thin it is, and the command tower. This reminds me of Transformers Energon Omega Supreme. This reminds me of like the Omega train. And I avoided that toy. I never even bought Energon Omega Supreme because I did not like how the battle train looked. So, yeah, I don't like this train mode. I really, actually, really hate it. Let's transform this guy into his third and final mode, the robot mode. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The robot mode. Now, first off, we have the body right here. Okay? And then, with Infinitus, just fold the arms, bend them back that way. Ha! They were bend them back that way, and we have the head. Now, we put the head right here between, there's a mounting locking port right there. Now, but it doesn't lock in very well, and I don't know why. This is now I own all of Wave 1 Titans Masters. I own all Wave 1 Titans Returns. And this is the only one which I'm having a problem with. With this Titan Master, now, you see the little Infinitus face? I have to put the head on backwards, and it locks into place fine, and then turn it around. This is the only one I have to do that. All the other Titan Masters that lock on, I don't have to do that. I can just pop it on and fine. But this one, I have to turn his head around 180, and then remove it, and then put it back on. I don't know if that's a mistake or what. It's a minor problem, but I gotta point it out. It's a very simple transformation, and with the exception of having to rotate Infinitus's head 180 degrees, it fits nicely on top of his shoulders. Sentinel Prime, he looks okay. I like the way he looks, but looking at the body, you can clearly see why he transforms into both a shuttle and a train. Somewhere down the line, Hasbro will re-release this mold with a different head sculpt and a different paint job, and he will be none other than Astro Train. Okay? And to be perfectly honest, that kind of disappoints me a little bit. Not that I hate Astro Train, but again, as I said, I do not like the train mode. And even as shuttlecrafts go, like Sentinel Prime makes a good Cybertronian shuttle, but Astro Train, I'm used to the Earth shuttle. I'm used to the shuttle, which will look closely to Skylinks here, okay? Just as a quick point. Like, Astro Train is an Earth shuttle which transforms into an Earth locomotive, and I don't think an Astro Train repaint will really do it justice. But I mean, in a different color scheme, this body mold is Astro Train with the shuttle wing sticking out the back, with the broad chest, and that's pretty much it. This top half of him is Astro Train. As far as an orange Astro Train with a prime-like head sculpt on him, he is okay as a new interpretation of Sentinel Prime. His weapons also, double up together, and again, I could put a Titan Master right there in a chair, and he can just sit around and while Sentinel wields them. This is also to double as a gun turret in, let's say, Fortress Maximus or something. The one cool thing about Sentinel Prime's robot mode is that it has an interesting feature that helps aid the figure look a little bit more, I guess you could say, prominent. Since all Titan Masters are going to have the same size head, Sentinel Prime's noggin, well, it just seems a bit too small for the body. However, if you press the gray little tab right there on Sentinel Prime's ab area, this will help flip out these little head things. This kind of reminds me of like a nobleman's collar. It does help fill up, some of that negative space there where his tiny head is, and it just helps out with that nobility look. And considering the fact that in the IDW universe, Sentinel Prime is nothing more than just a shill for the Cybertronian aristocracy, it works for him. Overall, in Wave 1 of the Titans Return line, I do think Sentinel Prime is the weakest out of the bunch. I pretty much just bought him because there are so few Sentinel Prime toys out there, and I kind of wanted to grab him up because of that rarity. And I still have to figure out where I'm going to display him. I might put him in with my War for Cybertron figures. He'll fit in with the pre-Earth era Transformers that I have. Or I was even thinking of just kind of like an evil twist, throwing Sentinel Prime in with my Shattered Glass evil Autobots. I could kind of see this guy being like the evil Sentinel Prime in the shadows, hiding behind the evil Optimus Prime. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, this has been my toy review of Titans Return Sentinel Prime. This is JimClassic, and I'll see you around.